Unless you've been living under a rock for the past year, you've probably heard about artificial intelligence, or AI for short. From small startups all the way to big brands, AI is reshaping how they operate and compete. As Etsy sellers, there's nothing stopping us from adopting similar strategies as these big businesses. And I think that the earlier that you get started with this, the better. In this video, I'm going to show you the unique ways in which I use AI to supercharge my Etsy businesses. From crafting compelling Etsy listings all the way up to conjuring up new product ideas for my store. Plus, I've got a special bonus trick up my sleeve using one of ChatGPT's newest features that I'm going to share with you at the end of this video, so be sure to stick around till then. And no, this is not another video about how you can use AI to create art that you can sell on Etsy. It's about how you can use AI to improve your Etsy business processes going forward. If we haven't met yet, I'm Daniel, it's lovely to meet you. I run several Etsy businesses and I'm always on the lookout for new innovative ways in which I can improve my stores. And now I want to use this platform to help you do exactly the same thing. So let's jump right in. The beauty of a lot of AI technology is that it's accessible to the public. This means that even us Etsy sellers can tap into several different AI tools to help us improve what we're doing. And I think that if you start experimenting with these tools now, you're going to be miles ahead of other Etsy sellers going into the future. One of my personal favorite tools is the OG of AI at the moment, and that's ChatGPT. For those of you that might not know, ChatGPT is a really powerful AI language model designed to assist with loads of different tasks. Think of it as your digital assistant that helps you to craft compelling emails all the way through to helping you with some creative ideas. And the best part is that at the moment, ChatGPT offers a free plan, meaning that you can actually get started with experimenting with it right now. So let's take a look at a couple of ways in which I use ChatGPT to improve and enhance my Etsy stores. Building a great Etsy listing can be such a headache. You've got to spend all that time crafting all of the listing details and making sure that it's optimized as much as possible for Etsy SEO. It used to take me ages to do a lot of this, but now I actually use ChatGPT to help me along. Let me show you how. Let's say that I'm getting ready to list this beautiful soccer mom sweatshirt. Now you could go the old school route and you could sit down and you could start thinking about your listing details from absolute scratch. So we're talking about specifically now our titles, our description, and our tags. Three of the main components that get taken into account when it comes to Etsy SEO, which is really important. Now the other option is to start utilizing ChatGPT. So let me head over to ChatGPT here. We've opened a new window and now down here in this message bar, I can enter a prompt. So something that I want ChatGPT to provide me as an output. So let's provide some details here. Let's say, give a bit of context. So I am creating a new listing for my Etsy store. It is a soccer mom sweatshirt printed on Gildan sweatshirt. So let's just go with this for now. And let's say I wanted to create the title, description, and tags. Now I'll show you what it feeds back here. Let's take a look at this, right? So it's very quickly come back with quite a lot of information here, right? So it's provided a title, it's provided a description here, along with some key features, specifications, and then it's also provided a list of 10 tags. This is a great starting point, but this is not going to be enough for what we're actually looking for, right? There's a lot of different things that go into what could be optimized here. I'm not going to cover Etsy SEO algorithm stuff in this video. There's too much that needs to be covered around that, but do take my word for it that this content that a ChatGPT has provided here is not optimized for SEO. There's definitely work that needs to go into this. That being said, using this does give you a decent enough baseline for you to now be able to go away and start thinking about how you may be able to want to get going with creating this listing rather than starting completely from scratch. Now, I do have an alternative for you to use on ChatGPT. I've been working on creating something which I call Elara. No idea why I've called it that, but essentially I've built my own custom GPT, which I've been trying to fine tune to be optimized to Etsy's search algorithm. That means that the information that's stored in the backend on this is more in tune with what Etsy may be looking for in terms of their SEO. So let's go ahead and enter a similar prompt into this GPT here. So let's say, I'm going to keep it quite brief actually. I'm going to say new listing, soccer mom sweatshirt, Gildan sweatshirt, create title, description, and tags. So I'm going to enter that and let's see what this now spits out to us. So Elara's responded to us and she's now provided title, description, and tags, which I believe to be a lot better and in line with what Etsy may be looking for in terms of SEO compared to the regular ChatGPT. So you can see here, this title includes lots of different variations of perhaps the typical keyword we may be looking for. It's also optimized to utilize as much of the 140 characters of the title that we're allowed to use. The description includes descriptive words and keywords, as well as specifications around the product itself, around the print process, and around the return policy, which you can obviously specify to whatever you want it to be. And then the tags, I've set this up in a way so that it's always going to spit out 20 tags at you, all of which are variations of those primary keywords that you're typically looking to aim for. So for example, we've got the soccer mom sweatshirt at the top here, but then we've got variations of this as well, and that are utilizing the full character limit of those tags as well. So you can see here we have lots of different examples. I've set this up so that it spits out 20 keywords. That way I can pick and choose the 13 keywords that I believe will be most relevant and appropriate for this listing in particular. And now I'm by no means saying that you should just go ahead and copy and paste this into your listing and click publish. There's definitely still some additional work that typically needs to go into this. But what I've found is that this has helped me give me a really good starting point from which I can then start to flesh out and fine tune my listings rather than starting completely from scratch. And something else to point out is that you can actually continue to fine tune whatever Elara has provided you by providing additional prompts. So for example, maybe you didn't like the title that Elara gave back to you. You could actually provide an additional prompt with additional information to help to really hone in on what you're actually looking to achieve with this listing details. And now the great news is that Elara is completely free. I'm going to add a link to it in the description below. I'm not trying to profit off anything here. So feel free to give it a try, experiment with it, and please let me know in the comments as well if there's anything that you may want to see different in Elara going forward. I would love to hear from you. But guess what? There's more. As someone who doesn't really consider themselves very creative, I always used to struggle with coming up with new product ideas. But now I've got two things that help me with this idea creation process. First is my mix and match framework. This is a framework that I've created to help me to discover new potential ideas. Now, I'm not going to go into it in too much detail in this video, but I've actually got a different video which goes through this in a lot more detail, which I'll link down below as well. Be sure to check that out after this video. But once I've actually gone ahead and played around with my mix and match framework and I found a couple of initial ideas, I'll then typically turn to ChatGPT to help me to try to flesh out some of these initial concepts into more fully fledged ideas. So let's, for example, take the gardening niche and say that I want to apply simple slogans or simple slogan designs to the gardening niche and create some new products that way. I'm going to head back over to Elara over here, and I'm simply going to put that in there, right? So I'm going to say, I'm looking to create some slogans for the gardening niche to include on shirts and sweatshirts. I want them to be funny and concise. Please create 20 slogans. Let's see what Elara comes back to us with. So as you can see here, as we're filming, we can see that Elara is coming up with several different ideas for us to gain inspiration and to flesh out these initial concepts or ideas that we had into more fully fledged ideas. So we've got some quite funny ones here, like I'm a plant whisperer, might play in the dirt, quite a random one. Weed it and reap. I love these actually. So again, like before, the idea is not here that you just simply copy and paste these across, but the idea is that you can gain some further inspiration from whatever ChatGPT, or in this case, Elara, are telling you. And that brings me to my bonus tip from today's video, and that is to try to utilize one of ChatGPT's newest features as of me filming this video, and that is the feature that they call image processing. Now, the idea behind this is that you can actually upload your own images to ChatGPT to allow you to communicate by using those. So let's take a look at how we could maybe do that using this example right here. So let's say that I have a listing that I know is doing really, really well in my Etsy store already. Let's take a look at it right here. And let's say that I want to follow that exact same design format. So those 4 different words, that's quite a popular design at the moment. And let's say I want to create some additional ideas in the gardening niche in this same format. What I'll do is I'll go back to our ChatGPT bot over here and I'll click on the little icon and I'll upload that image. And now in the prompt box below that image, whilst it's uploading, I'm simply going to put down, I want to create an additional 10 plant and gardening themed designs in the same design format as this shirt. It must be the exact same text format. Please create them. I always say please, I don't know why. But let's send that off and see what Elara gives back to us. And as you can see here, Elara has been very helpful and provided 10 new slogans in that exact same design format that we were hoping for. So this is just an idea of how you can maybe start to use the image processing feature in ChatGPT to come up with additional design ideas that may be based on a different design that you have. And that's a wrap, folks. We've really just scratched the surface of how we can use AI to improve our Etsy businesses going forward. I don't think it's about AI taking over our jobs. It's more about helping us to improve and enhancing what we're doing on Etsy already. It's about making our processes more efficient so that we have more time to spend on what's really important to us. And if you're as excited about using AI in your Etsy stores going forward, then why don't you hit that subscribe button below? I'm going to be posting more information around how we can use AI across our Etsy stores in the future, and I would love to have you along for the ride. And if you feel like that you've learned something today, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button as well? I would really appreciate it. And as I mentioned before, if you're interested in learning more about how you can discover new ideas for your store, you should go and check out my mix and match framework. I'll see you on the next video.